we did all of it. We drew up a campaign. I outlined a campaign for how we'd approach this. I'd taken the post office chorus to the World's Fair in '64, and so we began to have some sense of what you needed. We were always producing concerts with them, some sense of what we needed to do. So I drew up an outline of what we would need to do to produce this Messiah. We started in the summer of the year before. And Bob and Norma Sale volunteered to be honorary chairman. The post office chorus had sung for Bob's installation as, I'm not sure what the proper term is, a Masonic Lodge, but he was installed as the head man at a lodge, and we sang for that, and Bob and I had a good working relationship. So he and Norma really kind of oversaw, and we established a committee to do publicity, and we sent out press releases. And this was our first venture of doing the Messiah, but there was no admission charge, it was free, and our concern was that we would have anyone there. Well, this was, again, '79, and we were downstairs preparing to come up, and someone said, you know, the place is full. I think we have a full house. Well, in fact, we not only had a full house, we ultimately ended up turning people away. They set up chairs in the narthex, and they were setting up chairs around the perimeter of the balcony, and had the fire commissioner come in, we certainly would have been cited. Well, this was our first Messiah, and it was a grand success. Everyone felt, of course, we had to do it again. The problem was that when I met with the session and asked for funds, they said, well, you know, we really can't afford to do this every year, Ed. You know, I think we asked for $2,000, $2,200, something like that. So I knew that there always were budget problems, that if we were going to do Messiah again, we would have to start charging admission. So we did the second year, 1980, we charged admission for Messiah. And we would have this wonderful choir, and then after Christmas, they would all go away. They wanted to sing Messiah or major oratorios, but they would sing in other choirs. So I decided that if we could, and we talked about this with the session and with members of the growing chorale, if we do 2 performances, we'll make enough money to pay for our Messiah performance, plus we'll have profits that would help us begin a series in the spring. So we did that. And we had 2 sold-out performances, and we had then enough monies to begin doing concerts in the spring. And that's how that program evolved. None of this, of course, is possible without a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and hard-working, dedicated singers to learn the music, because we decided to do, when we saw that this was going to succeed, we decided that we would be doing the great sacred music written for chorus and orchestra. And so we've done most of the major repertoire. We have in the chorale a little fly sheet that shows what we've done through the years. But again, incredible amounts of volunteer time have gone into this, and I would not begin. I mentioned Bob Sale because he and Norma would chair people of the very first Messiah performance. And if I began naming people, I would be leaving people out, so I won't do that. But I can assure you that none of this could have happened without incredible amounts of volunteer time, gifted people doing design, writing, many gifted singers coming in. Josiah has been singing with us for almost from the beginning, and Joe came because we sang together at St. Paul's Cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral during the years after I came to Fort Street started doing St. Matthew's Passion, and they asked me back to do the evangelist, and Joe was in all of those performances, really not Joe. So there's just this network of friends and colleagues who have gradually come to this place for these occasions to make this wonderful music. Again, no one has been turned away, and when people have been less than wonderful singers, we've accommodated them by surrounding them with wonderful singers. And people learn the music eventually. You know, we have few people sing Messiah for the first time who've not sung it before and sing all of the right notes. But the performances get better, the singers get better, we all get better. So it's been a wonderful adventure. And again, I know I bounced around a lot here. I would be very happy to answer any questions or receive any comments from those of you who are here, if you have any. 43 years is a long time, and the 60s were a perilous time for the city, but it was my good fortune to first of all have the opportunity to direct the Detroit Post Office Male Chorus group, which was essentially black men, and to appear in parts of the many black programs, and to be part of, in a way I realize now, part of the civil rights movement. The Detroit Post Office Chorus was given the Citywide Brotherhood Award back in the 60s for building bridges of understanding through music. And we continued through the 80s. So that was, to me, an incredible gift, to be part of the black community and have so many friends from that time. In the Chorale now, we have singing three men who were part of that post office chorus. Men that I have known are like my brothers. I've known since the 60s. And I think part of that spirit has prevailed. You know, the sense that you have an objective, a dream, and you mobilize the forces to realize that dream. And always there are gifted people who will work to realize a dream, and groups of people realize dreams that you hold in common. Post Office Chorus was part of that. The Chorale was part of that. For David D. Kier, the Michigan Opera Theater was that. In 1960, in 1962, or 63, David took over the helm of what was the Overture to Opera. We would do educational programs in the school system to inform audiences and bring audiences to the performance. So for David, the early 60s was part of that. For me personally, as I mentioned, Post Office Chorus, coming here to Fort Street, and then the incredibly expanding opportunity of being able to sing at Temple Bethel, being part of that great congregation, and ultimately having the privilege of, when the cantor was sick, to be the cantor as part of. So there's a tapestry of events and circumstances that have contributed, I think, in making the Chorale what it is, and the music program here at Fort Street what it is. And I feel most blessed and most fortunate to have come here at the time I did, and to have been part of all of this. It's a great good fortune.